Right, I thought I'd try and paint a quick one for you. So, it's quite an easy one, this. I'm going to go faster than the lighter sound if I can. Just go through there, down to there, something like that. So that's me watering. Right, and get a... I've mixed just some darkish blue, whatever darkish blue you've got, with cobalt or ultramarine, anything, whatever you've got in your palette, mix it with a bit of Payne's grey or whatever black you've got in your palette, really. Mix it in, and that's it. That's done. Right, background trees. This technique's called wet in wet. Watch this. So that's my background trees, look. All that paint all soaks in. Called wet in wet, because you're putting wet paint into wet paint. If you've never done this before, what I'm actually doing, this paint what I'm putting on there is a slightly thicker mix than the other one, and that's what you want. If you don't have that, it will probably just spread out all over everywhere and make a mess. So when you're mixing your paint, just mix this one slightly thicker than that background sky. So that's bluey grey, exactly the same as sky, but just a thicker mix of the paint. Right, I'm going to take that same bluey grey paint now, and I'm going to mix a tiny bit of blue and yellow in to turn it slightly green. And then, no, this wet in wet and all, I'm just going to splodge in all my background greens. Well, it's all wet. Just into there like that, and this side like that. I'm just going to take that off. I still have to take that off altogether for a bit. Right, that's going to come up to about there, and then another one to about there, something like that. That's nice, right? And same colour. Coming back. Yeah, let's have some of these bits coming up here like this, like that, and then slightly in front of there. I'm going to be building all this up in a minute, putting more on. Right, so we're just, at the minute now, we're just building up layers. In fact, what I might do, while that's drying, I'll tell you what I'm going to do while that's drying. I'm going to get some more blue and that Payne's grey, but this time I'm going to whack in some Bont Umber into it. Right, actually my paint's really watery. I need my paint slightly dry. So I'm just doing this, look, let me show you. So I'm mixing my paint here, look, can you see that? That's my paint there. I'm mixing, and we need quite a thick paint for this. That's not looking bad. There we are. I like a tad more of that blue there, look. See that? Make it slightly more bluey. And then a tad of this Payne's grey, what's just on that side. That's not bad. I think that'll do it at that. Right. All I'm going to do, straight in here like that, into there, all the way back into there. Try not to splash little drips like I just have done into there. If you leave any little white bits, it'll actually look really cool. So leave a few. That's nice, right. Then you just get your scraper, come in, scraping in some ickle rocks and some big rocks and all if I likes. Sometimes I like to put little ones in that bottom bit there, look, and then bigger ones back up here. See how them white little gaps what I've left has done like I've left like a nice little mark. I'm just going to get in here and just try and get a couple more little ones in there like that, look. It's slightly too runny, that paint, but not to worry, it's worked, hasn't it? Worked. There, that's that one. Oh, same this side. So this side. Yeah, let's do the same this side. In fact, let's take them up a bit higher than that. Take them up like that, then down there, like that, across there. Tell you what, I'll scrape that in first. There. And then I'll pop in a couple more like that. Oh, I forgot to leave a few little gaps in these. come in, there's some more paint on my brush. This, if you look close, it's a slight bit of green tinge to this. But don't think, oh no, I don't want green rocks, unless you don't want green rocks. But if there's a slight bit of green tinge in, what you tend to get a lot with watercolour painting, well, with any painting, you tend to get a lot of, if you mix in mud a lot, like I do, I tell you not to, but I do, you tend to get a lot of greens in. Well, that green looks like mould and stuff growing on your rocks, so I like it. Right, now then, now that's dried a bit, I can come back in there. All I've done, I'm adding a tiny bit of my blue and yellow, what I mixed up earlier, to add a bit of green to it. Right, really, actually, need to be careful down this bottom bit now. Right, end of my brush is all bashed up, look, into there. Now this is looking good. Same on this side, some there, into there, there, where that soft stuff is. Just harden that up a bit. Right, this is where I need bashed up bit on my brush. There, like that, look. Get these last little bits in. There, that's what I'm looking for. Right, let me get, I'm going to chisel my brush now. Chisel it. And just come in. And just get round top of them rocks, look. Round there like that. I haven't got to be dead accurate. If you go over a bit, it's not going to matter. Same here, look. Get a bit of a edge on there. In and around them rocks there like that, look. That's it. And then I'll get a bit more just for some even darker. And just pop in some really dark splodges. A lot of brown in that. So I'll add a bit more black. A lot of black in there, look. Same again this side. Put some brown there. A lot of black in. There, let's get a lot of green in there. Some really dark green. See that green's that dark, so it's almost black. Mix some of that in and all. There. Oh, I'm liking that. Nice. Right. I've got the edge of that. You can use your card actually. Edge of your card. I always use edge of that brush, but I'll just show you because if you've got a spare old bank card, you can do it with a bank card. Then just some tree trunks. You can use your fingernail. A lot of people use a fingernail for that. So you can use that, or a little. You could file end of a brush down and use that. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. These ones further, they're probably further back. Look at them, slightly thinner one. A couple of branches in there, something like that. And then we'll let that dry because I'm going to do something a bit different in a minute on there. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do while that's drying now. I'll bring this up a bit. Get these rocks in the bottom here. So, let's have some... all I've done, I've not washed my brush. Just gone into Bont Umber, Payne's Grey. Now I've got a really thick paint now, really thick. Into there. Let's have some of that blue in there just to vary it colour a bit. That's nice, isn't it? A bit of that blue. And then I'll have some of that green in and all, just to, why not, vary it a bit. There. Nice, isn't it? And then some really dark black and brown again, without even washing my brush. Just some dark bits in there. Oh, that's nice. Right, card, where's my card gone? It's this one again, I think. So, oops, across there, cross that bit. Across there, try and do it. I think if you do it fast, tend to get some better effects. Bits in there like that, and then if there's out you're not keen on, get your thing, come back in, and do a bit of shaping onto it if you want. So you could say, I don't know, say you want it a bit darker in there, bring a bit darker bits in, and do some bits of shaping and stuff. Whatever you want, whatever you feel it needs, you can stick in. Let's take that edge a bit. There, something like that. Do a bit of that if you want. Look at that, where I'm just getting the, just slightly stroking it. Just give me a slight rough texture on there. That's nice, isn't it? Let's do that down there. There. Oh, I'm liking that. You can add some little cracks in if you want to crack in your rock. I could do with a new bum because my old one's got a crack in it. I always do that joke. It's pathetic. I need to. As Esmeralda keeps telling me, I need to grow up. There we are, some cracks in your rock. Or if you think that looks a bit stupid or a bit over the top, don't put them in. I'm not sure. I think it might look a bit over the top. Let's cover them up a little bit. There, that'll do. So that's some rocks. So that's that. Now, water. Right, what colour do I want my water? I think it's going to have to be a dark colour like that. So I've not washed my brush. I've dipped my brush in water. I've gone straight into my green. Or my yellow and blue, what I'd already got mixed to mix my green. Straight into that. I've got a dark watery green now. I think I'm going to start, make it really watery. I think I'm going to start over this end, and as I come across, I think I'm going to take it more of a green. But for now, I'm going to start with this, this colour. So that looks quite nice. Actually, this is quite, I'm leaving a lot of gaps, but there's not that many gaps in this on this side. Oh, that is nice. Look at, I love that. Let's take that back a bit, right back to there. I think there's a lot of white rapids and stuff over that side there where it looks on it. So if I come into there, tiny bit more paint on my brush. There's not much rapids over this side. This is more tiny bits, but not much. Mostly just a solid block of colour. Right, so if I go into there, come into there, up to them rocks like that. Same again, keep doing that cross thing like that. Into there. Right, I'm going to dab into a tiny bit of yellow now. Start dragging that yellow in. There we are, that's nice. Might do a bit more in a minute. A bit more of that yellow. And down here, into there, across there. Get a bit more of that yellow in there. Tad more water, tad more of that yellow. Let's try that, and then that's going to come across here. I've got more water in now. There's more rapids over this side, so what I've done, I've popped a bit more water in. Slightly more thinner paint. Thin my paint a bit more. A tad more of that yellowy green in. Oh, that's looking nice. I like that. And then perhaps a couple of little bits on that side. But not much. There's like I say, there's a hell of a lot of rapids over this side. Same again, I just chuck a couple of bits in there. Is that enough? Less is nearly always more, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to just bleed it in. I'm just going to bleed a tiny bit of this green into there and all. Just there, that's nice, ain't it? Like that. That's for the reflections of them trees up there. I don't think them roots would really reflect, to be fair. Right, now, I'm going to show you something now what's a bit different. Right, what colour do I want? I need, it's going to have to be quite a light colour, what I'm going to mix. What's on this brush? I don't like wasting paint. Let's have a look. Yeah, so let's get some of that colour. Is that light enough? It's not a bad green at that. Right, so I've got some green. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Got some green in here, a couple of greens. Right, hopefully this will work. There's some green, what I've mixed up, and I've mixed in a tiny bit of. Oh, in fact, I tell you what, I'm not even going to do something different. Hang on, let me squeeze my brush out. Change my mind. What I'm going to do first I'm going to dry these trees. I'm going to do something to these trees. You're going to like this. This looks really realistic when it's done. drying on there and all. That'll do. Right, I'll just put my clip back on because that's gone proper doolally now. There's a clip there. Let's put a clip on there. Put some extra clips on. It's gone crazy. One there. Let's put a big one on here. Paper's gone crazy. There, that's better. Right, you're gonna love this. Right, so let me get my brush. Give me a brush a thorough wash. I want to need a really clean brush. Dry it like that. Right, I'm coming into Designer's White Gouache. Wash, I call it gouache. Designer's White Gouache. Right, and then I'm just gonna start this side and just, oh, that's a bit, let me do it with my finger. That's better with my finger a bit and all. I'll just sort of get a bit of gouache in here like this, just for some branches and stuff. Every time a lorry goes past us, everything was dark. Yeah, there, that's my gouache, look. It's going in there. This is going to dry lighter, paler sort. This not stand out as much as it is now in a minute when it's dried. Having said that, I still think I'm going to smudge with my finger anyway. There. Oh, that's nice. There, I like that, I'm happy with that. Come over this side, same again, just light little touches. Pop it on. Don't panic if it looks too much, because it will dry a lot lighter. There, nah, same again. I like that smudge look, so I'll come back in with my fingers and soften it all. That's quite nice, isn't it? I think that might, yeah, that don't look bad. That's sort of semi-dry now. Right, so let's get some greens. So now I've got a light green. I'm just going to come in, go over that with my light green. There. That'll thin out. That'll go more transparent as it goes through, because that's a really thin paint. So that will, as that dries, that'll nearly disappear. So probably put a bit more on than what you're thinking with this stuff. I'm gonna come down here and get some bits in this bottom bit as well. Why not? There. So that's that. Looks nice. That will dry paler. So if that dries paler on you, see what it looks like. If you want some more on, put some more on. But I think that's it. That looks realistic. They look like quite realistic distant trees to me, so I like that technique. That's just a bit of whitewash. I tell you what I'm going to do. Wash my brush. I'm going to do one more thing. Just that sky colour what I had. I'm going to try and mix a tiny bit of that black in. Really a lot of water. Just come in here and just pop in some really nice watery. So I'm going to pop a few in like that, and then just wash my brush out and even water that down a bit more, I think. So it's really discreet, but just a tiny bit of that blue in there. I think that's quite nice, isn't it? Just looked a bit not quite right with just the pure white in there. That's better. You know, like I say, you can only just see that, but it's a nice little detail in it. That's better, a lot better. Right, has that dried yet? That's virtually dried, so that's good then. So that's held its colour. Yeah, I think that looks realistic. Right, we can get a tiny little brush, stick a body in, get me initials on it, and its job's a good one. Right, so tiny little brush, got a really little ickle brush. Tell you what, I put my initials in first, I think. Let's pop them there. Not right. Boy, Dully, Bertie, D. There. And let's say Peter and Paul. Let's say them there. Peter and Paul. As usual, art flying. flying about looking for worms. Let me just go over that D. B. There. There we are. Nice quick little painting for you. Nice easy one. 20 minutes. See you on the beach.